All right, we got three more games to talk about. Panthers, Rams. Texans game is going to start in a little bit, but I had to talk about the wild card recap. As for the Rams Panthers game, it makes, I would say, most people would be now scared of, are the Rams going to go on a run, right? Because the Panthers were not supposed to be in that game whatsoever. And you look at the fact that Carolina put up a fight, and that was little abnormal. Was not expected at all. I thought the Rams would comfortably pull away with it. The Panthers weren't it the whole way, and you got to give credit to Bryce Young for hanging in there. Yeah, he threw a bad interception, I believe. A couple went for it on fourth down. Dave Canales, I respect the commitment. Hey, you don't have much to lose here. You're the 8 and 9 seed getting in as the lone division winner in the NFC South that has just been disregarded. So, shout out them. However, they went 0 for 3 on fourth down, and that was kind of the big thing. You had the one early in the game, you went for midfield, another run around that matter, and then at the end of the game, 4th and 10, Jimmy Horn dropped it. It wasn't Bryce Young wasn't the most accurate on that drive, but still, it was good enough to where it could have been caught. Now, again, talking about the Panthers, they deserve all the credit in the world that they were in this game. They got kind of out to a slow start. It was about, 14-0 after that fourth down that the Panthers went for it, I believe the first drive of the game. And Puka Nacua comes out, 2 touchdowns. But the Panthers did not quit. They tied it up 14-7, 17-7, 17-14. They got a touchdown before the half. So, again, they stayed in this game. Mike Jackson picked off Stafford. Again, he was the one that had the pick six in the first matchup. Jalen Coker, 134 yards on that 52-yard bomb at the end of the third quarter. This was just a perfect cinema game for the first round, the first game of the wild card round that just set the tone for the rest of these games. And I think the worst game was probably last night, Patriots-Chargers. We'll see how, it was only 1 touchdown scored. I was really expecting a high-scoring game. But it's always those prime-time games. Like, I know all of those were technically prime time, but it's like Sunday Night Football. It's like it just falls flat. It disappoints. And, to be fair, it was a very good defensive game. It was still a good game, but, the first game to not end within 1 touchdown. Justin Herbert just kind of got walked the park by the Patriots defense. Milton Williams was in on the quarterback in 2 seconds, but we're not talking about that game. We still got to talk about that game. But this game in the NFC South, NFC West, whatever you want to call it, it was a good game for sure. And you got to feel bad for Bryce Young. You got to feel bad for Dave Canales. But the speech that I heard Dave Canales give after the game, I'm not the biggest Dave Canales fan, but he definitely won me over with the way he can lead a group of men and saying, hey, we gave it our best shot, but hey, we're not done. As much as I would have loved to move on, it's just the way it goes. And sometimes you bounce back next year. We did a lot more than anyone ever thought that we would do. So clearly they got their guy back in Chuba Hubbard, who just kind of carried the ball the whole time, which I was a little surprised they didn't utilize Rico Dowdle, but I mean, his inefficiency has just gone down ever since they benched Hubbard. So it was interesting, I will say. As for the game, you have the Panthers block the punt with 2:30 left or whatever it was, and then they score the touchdown, which actually probably benefited the Rams more than anybody, because they had 2 minutes to go down and score a touchdown. They were down 4. If you give the Rams, 40 seconds to go down and score a touchdown to win the game, I don't know if they do. Now, to be fair, Bryce Young has to drive majority of the field, but if you punt that away and there's 3 minutes on the clock and they're on their own 30, 40-yard line, you start to get a little nervous as a Rams fan because not when the Panthers did score, say it was a minute left in the game and Rams only had 1 timeout. So that definitely could have been in a different tone. However, Matthew Stafford, for not really being in the MVP conversation, it's not the playoffs and it's not the regular season anymore. Obviously, playoffs don't attribute to regular season status. However, looking at Matthew Stafford, he played a one of a kind. The run game wasn't there for the Rams. They still had 2. That's the Panthers, excuse me. But yeah, the run game wasn't the best for the Rams. They just couldn't get anything going. Derek Brown, Panthers stuffed the run. So Puka Nacua, he got involved. Devontae Adams, I wouldn't say there was a couple drops, but there were a few drops, not from Adams, but just from everyone. Nacua led the charge with a receiving and a rushing touchdown. But we'll go on to, the Panthers made their good fight. How about this game? Rams-Bears. Because now the fact that the Packers obviously couldn't hold on, so that shakes up the whole wild card. Bears go play the Rams. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Sunday at 3 or 6:30, which I don't know offense, don't know how it's either or. I guess considering the Texans haven't played, they're the other game that's 3 or 6:30. I guess they're going to decide. To be fair, I think the Texans should have the 6:30 game considering they're playing on Monday night, but whatever. I'm also just assuming they're going to win the game. Wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers won. Either way, Rams, Bears. I think this spread is too low. I think everyone's going to be so nervous about the fact that the Rams, they barely hung on against the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers were a bad team. Now, to be fair, at the Panthers, you're at the Bears now on the road. I don't think that's going to affect Matthew Stafford crazily, but it's still, Chicago's a hostile environment. So, Ben Johnson, I wouldn't say he got lucky, but there was definitely some games on here that I feel like they didn't really deserve to win. So, again, regular season, they had a lot of close calls. Bears-Steelers, this was with Mason Rudolph, might I add. The Bears-Giants game, they came back and won that game. This was an absolute shootout. The Lions game at the end of the year, the Bears-Niners game. I mean, you already know this is going to come down to the wire. But let's just say maybe, just maybe, the Bears early on, it's similar to the Packers game. They can't get the ball moving. Then what? I know the Bears are a four-quarter team. They play really well in the second half, but you can't go down 17-0 or 17-3 or 21-3 like you did against the Packers. I wouldn't say they got lucky, but at the same time, they won the game. They, give them their props. They came back. But for me, they got to come out swinging. They need to start this game with a statement touchdown. First drive of the game, go down and score because you're getting a second chance. In my eyes, you were dead at halftime. Bears fans were like, it's over. And I think I don't want to speak for all Bears fans, but I feel like most Bears fans were at least a little bit down in the dumps, at least 21-3. You look like you couldn't get anything going on offense. And then Ben Johnson drew up a lot of masterclass plays. Caleb Williams threw for like 200 yards alone in the fourth quarter. I mean, you cannot be a one-quarter team. I said second half, they really didn't do anything in the third quarter against the Packers. Now, granted, the Rams could coast just like the Packers, but I feel like you're going to have to score at least 35 points to win this game. The Bears' defense, turnovers are going to be involved. But I'm going to take the Rams here in a first look. We'll definitely do a deeper dive in terms of some player props and actual, picks. But 3.5, Bears will probably lose by a field goal. And I don't know how it's going to happen. They are outdoors. It's probably going to be windy. It's probably going to be cold, the frozen tundra. That's technically not what we're, what I'm saying. I didn't mean to drop a Lambeau reference on the Bears, but it's going to be ice cold out there. It's going to be a battle. I just don't see the Bears going on a historical run. They do kind of remind me of the Commanders from last year. They just find ways to score. But if you're the Bears and you could score 42 points a game and the Rams can't outshoot you, it's going to be entertaining for sure. So I don't know. Rams defense hasn't proven to me that they could stop anyone. Panthers especially. But again, Caleb Williams could get off to a slow start. I don't know. Rams D-line is really good. They're going to have to be really disciplined. They're going to have to watch a lot of film, especially in that fourth quarter against the Packers-Bears game. Watch how Ben Johnson had some great play calls on the side, that screen pass. Caleb Williams, that 4th and 8. I mean, I just don't know how they survived against the Packers, dude. They were down 27-16 with 5 minutes left, and they walked down the field, scored them before the 4-minute mark. And I'm just like, what happened? What happened to this team? They look like Hall of Famers in the second half. Besides the point, that 4th and 8, Caleb was under pressure in like 3 seconds. He had to roll to his left and just chuck it. And there goes Rome Odunze, wide open. So there's no doubt in my mind that the Bears definitely have a shot to win this game. I don't want to, put them out by any means. But I feel like this is the Rams game to lose. This is the Rams Super Bowl run that they need to have. Matthew Stafford's playing unreal football right now. And it's really not a matter of the Rams offense, but can the Rams defense get a stop? Bears offense too. Bears offense is great. Can the Bears defense get a stop? The Bears defense has been bottom 10 all year in the rushing category, the passing category, the scoring category. The Rams have been great in the first half of the year on defense, and then the second half, it just kind of looks like they fell off. And I say that because they've allowed so many points to so many teams. 20 to the Cardinals. Again, that was the last week of the season. 27 to the Falcons. 38 to the Rams, 34 to the Lions. You cannot win games if you let up the Lions 34 points, 38 points, 27 points, like 31 points in the Panthers. That is getting a lot of craziness. So again, this is gonna be a fun game, fun matchup. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to see how can the Bears win this game after a masterclass performance at Soldier Field. They're going to be back out there again, and it's going to be a fun game for sure. You could flip a coin, but I'm going to give the edge to the Rams. I know special teams has been a problem all year for the Rams, and the Bears can easily win the game because of that. Cairo Santos has been awesome this year, just outside kicking. Harrison Mevis, SoFi Stadium, they're kind of used to kicking indoors. I know he kicked outside at Carolina last week. But yeah, that's my alarm for the Texans game. I'm going to have to go. Wherever my phone is. What the heck is it? Oh, hang on. It's time to watch the Houston game, if anyone heard that alarm. But yeah, we went on for 10 minutes. Rams, Bears. Let me know your thoughts. Who wins this game? In the comments. 3.5-point spread. Might be a little bit big. Excuse me. Might go down to plus or minus 3. It's definitely going to be a field goal apart. A lot of these games are going to be one score in the postseason. It's just been so chaotic, so crazy in the postseason. But now for the moment we've all been waiting for, who wins this game? Steelers, Texans. I'm going to go watch the pregame right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.